will, let's see if it's working, because I've done it before where I've recorded and it didn't work. So I want to welcome everybody, whether you're watching this at another time or you're live with us. And I think Deanna just popped in, so I want to say
yes.
So we are going to work on a couple of things tonight, definitely with the theme of Newsy LA, and then I'm going to email you 2 links to the videos or the classes that we did, and then also all of the, I call them cheat sheets. So let me go over some of the cheat sheets that you'll see. First one, we looked at this PowerPoint a little bit. What is the main idea? And let me make this small. Main idea, and that is kind of the purpose of the text or the book or the paragraph or the article or whatever you're reading. That's the main idea, and it's supported by specific details. And we looked at this visual, so let me stop sharing and go to this visual. Last time sharing, where are you? Okay, so these will be kind of extra work if you wanted to do them. I scanned them for you. They're different levels, main idea 1 and main idea 5. They're a little bit more difficult, obviously 5. But we looked at this specific visual as your main point, and then supported by different specific details, okay? I wanted to look at this as well, maybe a little bit later, but this is your Newsy LA notes. A cute way of kind of breaking down information. Your vocab will go on the left if you want to put definitions or sentences or stuff like that. Your notes are actually the who, what, when, where, why, which is over on the right. And you can do this digitally and manipulate this text if you want, or you can print it out and write it hand. I do that. Or if you want to do it just on the Newsy LA site, you can do it on that site as well. So we'll go back to this, but I want to show you just, I think 2 or 3 little kind of mini lessons about main idea. So this is where you might want to take some notes, and then we're going to give it some practice. And I want to use Newsy LA for practice because we've used IXL a couple of times, which is awesome. And what, just as a reference, what grade levels am I looking for you guys to get at in regards to Newsy IXL, excuse me? What do you guys think?
5th, 6th.
I'm looking at you to probably start there, but end up 9, 10, 11, 12.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to screen share with this. And I don't, there we go. Let's see where we're at. We want to go to watch later. Oops, I thought I did it right. What happened here? All right, so I wanted to show, this is a quick one, little 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
Main idea.
You guys can see this, right?
Yeah.
I made it even bigger.
When I read a story or a text, I ask myself, what is the big idea?
What's the
Or
big
what
idea?
is the story or text mainly about? Let's look at a story as if it was an ice cream cone. The cone at the bottom will be the main idea because it is the main part of the ice cream cone. The scoops on top will be the details in the story.
That's a cute way of
Just
looking
like
at
any
it.
ice cream cone can have more than one scoop of ice cream, a story can have more than one detail. So how can I find the main idea in a story or text? There are 4 things that can help me figure out the main idea of the story. After I read the story, I look at the title or the heading. I reread the first sentence, or we call it the topic sentence. Then I reread the last sentence. Finally, I look at the pictures or illustrations in the story. Keep in mind that the main...
So just to go back to that visual, it's not saying only read those sentences. It is saying read everything, and this is what you read twice. That title, the first and last sentence, that's where kind of, if you're a good writer, that's where the bulk of your information is. And if you're a good reader, you would be able to identify that that is as well.
I look at the pictures or illustrations in the story. Keep in mind that the main idea is only one sentence that tells what the story is about. Let's read a story together and try to figure out the main idea of that story. Zaina's bike ride. It was a beautiful day to play outside, thought Zaina. Zaina was determined to finally learn how to ride a bike. She's been trying without much success for days, but today she feels she will finally get it. When her neighbor Kim saw her practicing, she came over to help her. With Kim's help, Zaina was finally able to ride her bike.
Yay.
So, what is the main idea in this story? Remember, for me to find the main idea or the big idea of the story, I need to look at the title of the story, the first sentence, the last sentence, and finally the pictures or illustrations in the story. From the title, I know that Zaina is going on a bike ride adventure. From the first and the last sentence, I know that she has been practicing and she was finally able to ride her bike. I can also see that from the picture. So the main idea would be that Zaina finally learns to ride a bike. If I try to use the ice cream cone model on this story, it will help me organize the story. It will help me see that the main idea is what the whole story is about, and that things like Kim is Zaina's neighbor are just details in the story. Remember that before finding the main idea of a story, we have to read it and understand it first. Thanks for watching.
You're welcome. All right, let's go to another one that's a little more, I would say, I don't know, higher brow. Text prep.
Hey guys, today we are going to look at the main idea in a story. Sometimes main ideas can be tricky to find at first. That's why we want to help you guys practice so that you can feel more confident in your ability to easily identify the main idea in any story. You may have heard it called a topic sentence as well. This is the exact same thing as the main idea. Neither one is wrong, but for this video, I'm going to refer to it as the main idea. Before we go on to the main idea, let's first define topic and hopefully clear up some confusion. The topic of a paragraph is the simplest description of what the paragraph is about. For example, studying is the best way to learn. Studying helps you to remember what you learned in class, but it also helps you to better understand the subject. As you gain more knowledge through studying, you can also gain a deeper appreciation for that subject. When you appreciate something, you have a desire to learn more about it, making your study time more productive. The topic of this paragraph is studying. The topic should be composed of one word if possible, but sometimes it can be a very short phrase like study hard or keep studying. Now, the main idea, like its name suggests, expresses the most general or main idea that the writer wants the reader to take away. Main ideas are always stated in complete sentences. Ask yourself what the main thing that is being said about the topic. So in this case, what is being said about studying? Studying is the best way to learn. Oftentimes, the main idea is stated in the first sentence, like it was in this paragraph. However, it can also be found in the middle or in the last part of the paragraph as well. Now it's your turn. I'm going to give you a paragraph, but before we walk through it together, I want you to pause the video and practice identifying the main idea on your own first.
No, let's just do it.
Friendships are important. It's good to have friends that are different than you are because they have strengths that you do not have, even if it may not seem like it at first. To have a friend, you must show yourself friendly. That's why kindness is so important in building friendships. Life is not always happy when friends are rude, don't invite you to join in on activities, or say mean things about you. Even when friends are rude to us, we should still be kind to them because though friendships can be hard, they're still very important. Friendships are also important because they can be used to help teach us to be patient. Take this time to pause the video and look for the main idea on your own.
No. Let's
We
just
can
do
see
it.
that the topic is friendships. One helpful clue is that friendships or friends is repeated in every sentence
15
of the
times.
paragraph. Now, what is the general idea being said about friendships? Friendships are important. This is stated in the first sentence, and it is shown in several other places throughout the paragraph. You guys are doing great. So let's try one more. When we decide to do something, something or someone is always affected by that decision. Sometimes our choices have positive effects, and sometimes they have negative effects. This is important to be aware of because our decisions not only affect us, but they may also affect others. You need to think of what kind of effect it can have before you choose to do something. Sometimes you're not able to see right away how our actions have an impact, but that does not mean they do not. Our choices always have consequences. Pause the video to find the main idea on your own. So we know that the topic is choices, decisions, or actions. If you said any of these, you were correct. Now, let's look for the main idea. What is being said about choices, decisions, or actions? Let's take a look. Every sentence talks about how our choices have an impact. And when we get to the very last sentence, it puts it very simply. Our choices always have consequences. So there's the main idea. Great work, guys. I hope.
Really good work. Topics and main ideas. No, we already did that. Let's see if that anything is different on that one.
Guys, welcome to this Memetrics video of our topics and main ideas. A topic is the word or phrase that everything in a text refers back to. See if you can guess the topic of these pictures. The topic is
Baseball, guys. Come on.
baseball. Now let's look for the topic in a text. Music can be an effective study tool. Some people say that music helps them to relax and to focus better. People listen to music for many other reasons as well. Music has been proven to produce serotonin, one of the so-called happiness hormones. The topic is music. A helpful way to identify the topic is to look for repeated words or phrases. The word music in this case was repeated in 8.
Well, I guess this is kind of redundant. All right, so let's look at Newsy LA. I want to go there. All right, so let's sign in. And then you guys are going to help me with the reading part, and we'll show you kind of the highlighting, because we did not go over this, I think, for everyone, because some people are newer than others. So there are a ton of different articles here. We have obviously some are current events with the inauguration happening tomorrow. MLK was yesterday. Talking about a second impeachment. All different kinds of things here. Don't really want to get political, obviously. Let's look at some stuff. What else we're looking? Prehistoric shark was much larger than the white shark. Was it the Megalodon? That sounds like nobody can get offended by that. All right, so what we'll do is we'll look at this together. I'm probably going to assign it. Remember, the assignments aren't like a traditional assignment because this is not a traditional class. You guys can choose to kind of do this or not do this. It's really kind of up to you. So let's go through this. First off, we are at the max level. We can do the max together, but I wanted to show you what the max looks like, right? 711 words, 8th grade level. Usually it's at the 12th grade level. We have all these kind of more intricate words in each paragraph is multi-sentence paragraph, except for that last one. Let's look at what the 490 XL Lexile would be. So it is, 490 is 382 words. It is the 2nd grade level. Is that a bad thing to do? I personally like to read it multiple times, would start a little lower and then get to that max level. Okay, look at the breakdown of content and information. You don't see any of the scientific words here that you saw there. Okay, yeah, you don't see any of them. Okay, so let's go back to max, and you guys hopefully can help me out with some of this if you would. So make sure you're, if you want to actually read, that your microphone is on. So prehistoric shark, was much larger than a great shark, a great white shark. So we have the great white, which is, depending if you use the metric, let's use feet, 18 to 33 feet. Your megalodon is 50 feet. Your school bus is 35 feet. Okay. So let's go through this. This is just comparing really what's going on here. So if you would like to read the first couple of paragraphs and then move on, that would be awesome. We can kind of do a popcorn thing, and I'll be highlighting and writing notes, if you would. Not everybody at once.
Okay, I'll do it.
Awesome.
Megalodon was the most massive shark that ever lived, and it's gargantuan. What's that word?
Gargantuan, yeah. So just like any test, because this is max Lexile, that word is put in there just on purpose to, not to slip you up necessarily, but gargantuan just means huge, okay?
Gargantuan girth was highly unusual, even among sharks, scientists recently discovered.
Okay, so basically we're talking about the Megalodon and that it's huge, was huge. Okay, you can write anything you want in there and it saves it for you, okay? Next one, in fact.
In fact, Megalodon's gigantism was off the scale. Researchers wrote in a new study, it's estimated to have measured up to 50 feet, 15 meters in length, about as long as a bowling line.
Okay, so a bowling lane here. So they were about 50 feet or anybody use the metric system? Some people still do. There's 3 countries that do. We are one of them. We do not use the metric system. So meters for some people doesn't mean a lot. So 50 feet. Okay. Next one, evidence.
You want me to continue or somebody else?
I think you ought to high five somebody.
Okay.
Somebody else want to read?
I'll go.
All right.
Evidence from extinct and living sharks in the order Lamniformes, the group that includes Megalodon, revealed that not only was the king of sharks an extreme outlier when compared to modern species, it was also substantially bigger than the next biggest extinct shark and Lamniformes order. It was longer by at least 23 feet, 7 meters, the scientists reported.
All right, so again, just re-emphasizing, you see all the numbers, you see gargantuan, you see off the scale, you see giganticism, you see the different numbers here. Again, this thing was huge. I guess it's in the family, in the order, which is a science word, of Lamniformes. Okay. All right. So next one, modern sharks.
Modern sharks are comparative pipsqueaks next to Megalodon, Otodus megalodon. The biggest
Anybody
known
know,
predator.
I'm going to stop you real quick, what a pipsqueak is? It's not a common word.
No.
Used to hear it in
It's
movies.
Like small.
Yeah, you used to hear it in movies where a bully would, say to a smaller kid that they were a pipsqueak. So not, again, if you're talking about whether it's this article because it's written at a higher level, or we're talking about the GED, which is written and on purpose, test creators are going to actually write things like that, pipsqueaks. Next to the Megalodon, and then this is Otodus megalodon, if you want to continue.
Next to the Megalodon, Otodus megalodon. The biggest known predatory species, the great white shark, Carcharodon Carcarius.
Calcareous. Yeah, so these are all scientific words. They're not super
Right.
necessary that you know them, but grows only about
20 feet, 6 meters long. The filter feeding whale shark, then those words, is the biggest fish species alive today. It measures about 18 to 33 feet, 6 to 10 meters from nose to tail tip on average. However, the biggest known whale shark measured a whopping 62 feet, 19 meters long. Researchers have reported in 2015 in the journal J.
So we're looking at different modern sharks in comparison. Compared to the Megalodon. And we see that the great white shark, I'll put that down as that, and the whale shark. And then as you're reading, you want to think, okay, so do you know anything about the great white shark? That's probably not a shark you don't want to swim with. Can you swim with a whale shark? Does anyone know that offhand?
No.
Yes.
They're peaceful.
Yeah, you can actually swim with a whale shark. They eat like these little, I think they eat krill, right? Little tiny.
Yeah, like what whales eat, I think.
So you can theoretically swim with them. They're not going to bite you per se. They don't have big, sharp rows of multiple rows, 8 rows of teeth like a white shark. I wouldn't personally go swimming with a white shark and compared to a whale shark. Both would freak you out, but one would probably kill you. So now we're just comparing. Again, as you're doing this, if you've ever read articles or read science book or a social studies book, and you get to the end of it, you really tried hard reading, and it's like blank in your mind, it means you haven't stopped and done these goofy little things. I know it seems like it's tedious, like, come on, dude, let's get through this, right? But when you start doing this, you are now remembering and utilizing, and those electrons in your mind are going off like crazy, neurons. So let's look at, that was the biggest whale shark, was a 62 footer. That sounds huge. There are 13 species of lamniforms today. Okay, they must be specific type of sharks. These include mako sharks, all right? And then that's Isurus genus. Deep sea goblin sharks, which is Mitsukurina, and the thresher shark. We have the threshers in Pinellas. That's the little minor league baseball team for the Phillies. Thresher sharks, which is the Opolis, as well as the great whites, okay? Just to name a few here that are specific about the order of lamniform. Okay, and that include these examples. Next one, most. Somebody want to read that one? Anyone? Anyone?
Most megalodon fossils date to around 15 million years ago. Lamniforms were plentiful from the end of the Mesozoic era, which was about 252 million to about 66 million years ago. This continued in the early Cenozoic era, which was about 65 million years ago to the present. However, little is known about the anatomy of the extinct lamniforms, since shark skeletons are made of cartilage rather than bone. They are extremely scarce in fossil record, save for their plentiful fossilized teeth, said lead study author Kenshu Shimada. He is a professor of paleobiology at DePaul University in Chicago and a research associate at the Sternberg Museum in Kansas.
All right, so a couple things, time frames. We're talking about fossils that are about 15 million years ago, and they were around 252 million to 66 million years ago. And we're talking about why we don't see skeletons. Why? They don't have a skeleton, they have a cartilage, okay? If you've ever gone fishing and you caught a shark and you ate that shark, you can literally cut it into steaks, okay? It has just cartilage for its quote unquote backbone. And then its teeth are the only things that we still see. You can pick up Megalodon teeth everywhere. I think you've probably seen these before. Anybody actually seen these up close? That they'll fit in like you see right here, the palm of this guy's hand compared to the other. I'm assuming the other one is a modern white. Yeah, it's modern white shark with the serrations, and then this has serrations, but it's significantly bigger. So you can get these. They're in the riverbanks. They're really all over the world, and they range in different sizes as well. Okay, and then we talked about who was talking about this, that you're using this verbiage, plentiful fossilized teeth. So there means that there are plenty of them. Okay. And then that's the individual, and he's a professor doing all these different things. Okay. Tooth size. Let's have a new reader. Anyone?
I'll do it. Tooth size can be used to estimate a shark's body size. That's because the sharks grow to continuously replace their teeth, getting new and bigger ones over time. In the new study, Shimada and his colleagues generated a new tool for calculating body length, an equation representing the actual quantitative relationship between body length and tooth size in lamniforms. They based it on the teeth and known body lengths from 32 specimens of living predatory lamniform sharks, representing all 13 species that are not plankton eaters. Shimada told Live Science in an email that then applied their equation to extinct predatory lamniforms.
All right, so basically, and we don't want to get too mathematic here, but they're looking at comparing these 13 species that are not plankton eaters, so they're carnivores, and those teeth versus the size of the bodies, the physical bodies of those particular sharks, and then comparing these sizes to the potential size of the bodies that we used to think and now can consider them to be just a little longer. Okay. The scientists found that many extinct lamniform sharks were quite large. Okay. This includes 4 Mesozoic genera, all these different scientific words. Okay. And 4 Cenozoic genera, which there's 4 of those as well. They held at least one shark species that grew more than 20 feet in length. Why does this group have so many supersized sharks? Their gigantism may be fueled by reproductive strategy. So now here's another thought. Why are they so big? As a, sort of a strategy for reproduction. Bearing live young with a unique cannibalistic egg-eating behavior that nourishes early hatching embryos, in enabling them to grow large while still inside the mother by feeding on their siblings, which is interesting and gross at the same time. So they get so big because they're growing so much larger inside of their mother. But even though researchers found that gigantism was common in multiple lamniform lineages, megalodons dwarf extinct sharks too. Okay. So now we're going on. We expect Megalodon to be large, Shimada said. What they did not predict, it would be a gap of 23 feet between the Megalodon and the next largest predatory lamniform. So between these extinct sharks, okay, there was a 23-foot gap between Megalodon and, for lack of a better phrase, their brother and sisters, okay, based on those fossil records. According to their calculations, all other minute lamniforms that did not eat plankton grew no larger than 23 feet in length, okay, which would be like your great white. While the Megalodon picture is now a little clearer than it was before. Many fundamental questions about the size of the massive super sharks are still unanswered. This includes particulars about its body structure and what caused Megalodon over-the-top gigantism, Shimada said. Why Megalodon became extinct, and another big fundamental question that remains unsettled. So why are they not around? And then the findings were published online on October 5th in this Journal of Historical Biology. Okay, so you would theoretically, am I frozen? You would theoretically finish, am I going in and out? You would finish these activities. There's a quiz and a writing section. And you would be able to use that other graphic organizer that I showed you. But let's, we have a couple of minutes. Before we leave, let's look at this. Let's see, what was that guy's name? Let's actually look this guy up. What's the guy's name? Shibata. Let's see what he says. Why it went extinct? No, these had nothing to do with Shimada. All right, I guess we don't, I thought we were going to be able to see. What if it never went extinct? It talks about the cannibalism in the womb. Let's look at it.
That face that is usually covered by her phone has finally...
Scientists have calculated that the prehistoric and thankfully extinct Megalodon shark could have grown much bigger than previously estimated. According to a study led by paleobiologist Kenshu Shimada of DePaul University in Chicago,
that's what we got.
Megalodon sharks could have grown to as long as 15 meters. That's 50 feet, or twice the length of a double-decker bus. At this length, the ocean monster would have weighed close to 100 tons. Previous estimates of the Megalodon's length put it at about 33 feet or 10 meters based on fossilized teeth, but this new study says that estimate was too low. Shimada's research team said the new estimate of up to 15 meters was made after a more accurate equation was applied based on the size sharks can grow to today if they develop in favorable water temperatures. The findings of the DePaul University research team have been published in the journal Historical Biology. The study found that this great size could have been achieved if the Megalodon did what many sharks do today, eat their brothers and sisters while they're still in their mother's womb.
Super
Most
lovely.
species of modern sharks have wombs containing many eggs with shark embryos in each egg. In many species, when the first shark pup hatches inside the mother, it proceeds to eat the rest of the eggs, a behavior called intrauterine cannibalism. In fact, when researchers used ultrasound to inspect the dual wombs of a pregnant shark, they found that a shark pup would sometimes swim from one of its mother's wombs to the other in order to eat the unhatched eggs in the other womb. Shimada says the Megalodon could reach a massive size of up to 15 meters thanks to adaptations like live births, early hatching, and cannibalistic feeding on other eggs in the womb. Over 3.6 million years ago, this combination of adaptations would have allowed a giant predator to grow to unparalleled sizes in comparison to other shark species. By eating their siblings, this Megalodon would have grown much larger while still in the womb. Coming out larger would have given them a greater chance of surviving and a larger adult body size. If they developed in favorable water temperatures, these factors would have combined to allow them to grow to the gigantic lengths the team they could reach.
For more news animations and explainers, hit the
Interesting
subscribe
stuff.
and
All right, I'm gonna stop sharing.
Off of it.
All right, so you guys have 7 more minutes before math. So if you don't have questions for me, we're gonna call it. I will email you guys the last 2 lessons as well as all of the fun stuff that goes with it, the attachments and graphic organizers and things like that. So questions, comments for me?
Mr. Turner,
Yeah.
I'm still receiving those emails from IXL from you from yesterday. I'm still receiving those emails. If you can stop them. And
You're
also,
receiving IXL emails from me?
yes,
Yeah, I got 3 of them today.
Me too.
How is
I've been
that
getting about
possible? I'm
6 a day.
emailing. I mean, are you getting at other people's login?
no, it's just
No.
me. It's my stuff. You keep sending over and over from, I think
I
it
deleted
started.
the whole feed this morning. I swear to God. I promise. I swear to God.
Yeah,
I
me
deleted
too.
the
I
whole
It's
got
the
feed.
like
login
3 today.
info.
Yeah, it's a login information.
Yeah, I know. I deleted everybody's and created a whole new thing.
Also,
I
the
swear I
remind,
did. How is that possible? I'm gonna look at my
It
sent.
seems like it comes every time we get the schedule for this week.
no,
Yes,
For the
that's
day.
true.
mine's actually started from either Sunday or yesterday.
Well,
Something like
that's
that.
interesting because I didn't touch it. I did not work over
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I got mine today and I got like 5 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got about 3 too. Like, I got the Zoom one and then like 3 IXL after.
Yeah.
So I sent today.
Like it's on automatic repeat or something.
No,
I have one more question.
No, I did send everybody today. I sent everybody the updated, because I go from day to day, the updated Zoom information.
Right. Also with the Remind website,
Yeah.
what is our login for that? Are we using the same IXL login? Because mine doesn't work.
No, there's no login. You'll just receive texts that say, hey, we did this or we did that.
Okay.
So I sent
I have a
everybody.
question.
Is there like a class code that we're supposed to use for a reminder?
No, you should just be able to log in. It should send it directly to your email or your cell phone. So I sent one this morning to Alina, and that was the login information, and that's it. And then Jack, as well as Aaron, and that was it, Aaron. I don't know what's happened. It's when somebody responds to it. Because I did only send 4 people their login information today. That was it.
Yeah, it seems like a couple hours before class starts, we get this IXL 3 times. I get it 3 times.
The IXL what?
For the IXL for the, you know how we log in with our user ID and then, so we go in and we do the classes.
I don't know what you're saying. The login for somebody else though?
No, for me, for my IXL account.
Oh, okay. Because every time a new person comes in, I email them that through you're talking about this. Okay, we've solved the problem. All right, I am going to share exactly what I do. I don't have to do that anymore, I guess. I thought once it emailed you, it was over. Let me show you. I get what's happening now. We have just solved. So the Megalodon thing, I don't want to look at that. So when I have a new student like this, you email each student their user and passname. I guess I don't have to do that to each one because it's redundant, I guess. All right, so I'll stop doing that. You're getting an email directly from IXL, correct?
From you saying that we have our new IXL account, which we already have.
It's just literally the same thing. Okay, I will not do that ever again. Okay.
Okay.
Now that I know everybody, I thought once it sent it to somebody, it's not going to send it again. Sorry about that. So delete all those. And when the COVID's over, I have to buy you guys a burger or something. I don't know.
I don't eat burger.
Me neither.
Anymore.
Me neither. Pescatarian now. All right. So sorry about that, guys. Any other questions, comments?
Nope, that's
With
it.
the,
I hope you're not too mad with me. Maybe a coffee will be better. I'll buy you a coffee instead.
With the IXL, after you do the what is it, the domestic or not
Oh,
domestic?
the diagnostic?
Yeah, diagnostic. What do you do? Just do the recommended
You're gonna
things
want to
they
do
tell
the
you to do?
recommended and then the stuff that we go over. So check out the like for instance, we just went over main idea. That'd be a good idea to do that. Things
Okay.
like that. All right.
What grade level are you starting at?
I'm
Sure.
gonna start lower. I always start between 3rd to 5th and then get into the middle school. And then once I'm in 9th to 12th grade, I'm good.
Okay.
All right.
Gotcha. All right. Sounds good.
You should know because
Alrighty.
if you keep getting every single one right at like 5th or 6th, whatever, 7th grade, you move
Then
up.
skip.
Move up. If you keep
Okay.
getting everything right. Now,
All right.
when you start having some challenging sections, then you sit and you need to kind of like back it up a little bit. All right.
Sounds good.
All right, my
You had
friends.
told. Oh, sorry.
Now, I have one quick question about
All
that.
right. Bye.
What is the level that you want us at?
For which
Like
one?
you want us to get to 12th grade? Is that what it is?
Between 9th and 12th.
Okay. Because I'm already between that. That's why I was wondering.
Perfect. Yeah. So once you're consistently between that, I really recommend the next step is take those official practice tests and start getting likely to pass and then moving on through there.
Okay.
All righty.
Alrighty.
All right. All right, guys.
You had told me to stay behind because
Yeah.
of Mr.
So
Poacher.
we sent your info to get approval from Miss Wendy. And where is it? Did you so basically what they're doing is the next step I think is you'll get approval and then we'll forward you what that waiver would be because you'll have the hours in. Okay.
Okay. So do you know when that'll be?
I will let you know as soon as it is. It should be fairly soon, like either tomorrow or Thursday.
Okay. Because
Or
I
you'll get-
thought not the 21st, but the class after that. I thought that was going to be the last class
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah. And that you can actually spend some of that time doing the actual test if you want. And we can
Oh, okay.
towards testing is counted towards the time too.
Okay.
All righty.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Have a good one.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye, guys.